The CF Racer 1 from Ride1Up. This bike is one of my favorite e-bikes that I've reviewed over the past year. However, I tried to convert this to tubeless with the stock rims, and let's just say it kind of failed. But I think it might be because of the 50mm tires that I put on these really skinny rims. This particular bike came with 17.5mm internal width rims, which really aren't ideal for 50mm tires. Traditionally, if you put a tire of that size on a rim of that size, you're going to get some sort of ballooning effect, which can kind of make the tire take the shape of a light bulb, is the best way to describe it. It didn't look too bad on this particular setup, but I'm wondering if that's what's causing this tire to lose a little bit of connection with the rim, allowing it to either A, burp whenever I hit a nice big bump, or whenever I push on the sidewall. I'm going to switch this out for the stock tires that came on this bike. The stock tires are a really nice Continental tire that are tubeless ready. So let's go ahead and just switch out the front tire because it's the easiest one to switch, see if this change works, and if it does, then I can go tubeless with the back tire. But if this fails, I'm going to have to go back to tubes. Now, after getting this tire installed, of course it aired up really quickly, no problem whatsoever. I didn't add any sealant because I thought, well, we're going to test to see if this thing even holds pressure. I got the tires up to pressure, installed them on the bike, took it outside, and sure enough, it burped. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like the tubeless is going to work in this particular setup. But with all that said, it looks like I'm going back to tubes. And since I'm going back to tubes, I'm going to put the 50mm tires back on because I really enjoy the ride and the feel of having a little bit wider tire on my gravel bikes. And you know what? While we're actually doing all this maintenance, let's go ahead and clean up the drivetrain, but we're going to use some Gear Hugger degreaser to clean up this drivetrain, and then also some Gear Hugger dry lube. That should really help out in those dusty situations. Now, if you're not familiar with Gear Hugger degreaser or oil, this stuff is really eco-friendly. So this stuff is going to be really safe for you and also the environment. And with the performance that I've seen out of their products, just using them a few times, I'm really happy with it so far. I can't wait to test this stuff out throughout this year to really see what I think of all the Gear Hugger products. Well, now that we got the tubes put back in and the 50mm tires put back on, and now the drivetrain is completely clean, you guys may have noticed at the beginning of the video that I pulled this bike off of a very unique wall rack. And that was made by a company called Steady Rack. If you guys haven't heard of Steady Rack, they make really cool wall mountable racks for all different types of bikes. Now, I've got several that are made for mountain bikes, I've got several that are made for e-bikes, some that are made for fenders, and also one that's made for a fat tire bike. So there's going to be a Steady Rack that's going to be suited just for your particular setup. But the really cool thing about Steady Racks is that you can just roll your bike right up to them and it locks it right in place. And then once you've got them on the wall, you can swivel them either left or right. So you can put your bikes really close together on the wall, and whenever you're ready to get the bike off the wall, you just simply move the other ones either left or right out of the way, and then simply just pull the bike back that you want to take off the rack. These things are the easiest load and unload racks that I've used in my garage, and I'm super stoked about having all these Steady Racks so I can store my bikes up in a nice, safe place. Now, if you guys are interested in any of the products that I've shown you so far, I've got some links down below that you guys can get to these really quickly, and if you use those links, it comes back and helps out this channel at no additional cost to you. So if you're planning on buying it and you're enjoying this content, help out this channel and use my links. There you go. That was a little bit different video than what I'm used to doing, but I hope you guys liked the update on the CF Racer 1. Man, I really wish that the tubeless setup would have worked. I think I might look into getting some new hoops and getting them laced up. I think you could do that for a reasonable amount of money, and you might even be able to go carbon, but if you went aluminum, you could definitely get wider and they wouldn't be all that expensive. So let me know in the comments below, are you guys as disappointed about the tubeless setup as I am? But the reality of it is, I rode with tubes for years, so riding with tubes on my e-gravel bike is really not that big of a deal. Also, let me know what you think of these Steady Racks. I think they are so awesome. By far, one of the most versatile garage storage systems that I've ever used. And I love how I can easily get the bikes really close together and then also move them away from each other so I can easily remove each bike. But real quick before we go, I wanted to show you guys this brand new helmet that Smith offers. For the last year, I have been riding with Smith helmets and I absolutely love them. They're super comfortable, well ventilated, and I know they've been tested appropriately to give you the best protection possible. This particular one is the brand new Smith Payroll, and it's specifically designed for high-speed e-bikes. So all the way up to a Class 3 e-bike is what this one's rated for. It's got all the safety features you can think of, plus some. It's got the Smith Corroy system in it, which kind of has this like coffee straw look in here, but this really does give you a lot more protection if you were to have an impact on your head with one of these helmets on. Not only that, they equip their helmets with MIPS, which is a really nice feature that prevents your head from twisting if the helmet hits something and twists. So not only does this helmet protect your head, it also protects your neck. So if you do get into a crash, this Smith Payroll helmet is going to give you the most protection you can get on a half shell helmet. Now, this particular model of the Payroll does offer the ALEC crash sensor, and that's going to be a sensor that's built into the VaporFit dial down here that charges via USB-C. This sensor will connect up to an app on your phone, and if you were to get into an accident, it will notify individuals that you have set up in there. I think this is a really cool safety feature. This is by far the highest tech helmet that I've ever owned. And this year, this helmet is gonna be my go-to whenever I jump on any of my e-bikes or even my mountain bikes. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments below and we'll see you in the next one.